This is the Strait of Hormuz. It's one of the most important and strategic waterways in the world. I'm going to show you why, but first...
Never, ever, ever in my life have I seen any transaction so incompetently negotiated as our deal with Iran. And I mean never.
After the US backed out of an international nuclear agreement with Iran last year, relations between the two nations have been increasingly tense.
They're a nation of terror, and we won't put up with it.
President Trump tightened sanctions last November, and in April this year told countries that they too could face sanctions if they continued to buy oil from Iran. The US moved this aircraft carrier into the region, the Abraham Lincoln. And what we are seeing now is an intensification of military activity in the area. And much of this is taking place around the Strait of Hormuz. And why is it so important? Let me explain. The strait links the Middle East's crude oil producers to key markets in Asia, Europe, North America, and beyond. On one side, we have the Arab states, including a number of key US allies in the region. And on the other side, Iran. At its narrowest point, it separates Oman and Iran by just 21 miles. It has two shipping lanes, each just 2 miles wide. It may be narrow, but the Strait of Hormuz is deep enough and wide enough to handle the world's largest crude oil tankers. In total, a fifth of the world's oil exports are squeezed through this tiny corridor. That's almost 19 million barrels of oil every day. Compared to 16 million barrels shipped through the Strait of Malacca, or 5.5 million through the nearby Suez Canal each day, making Hormuz the most important oil choke point in the world. The strait is also the main route for Iranian oil exports, and this is a big deal for Iran's economy. Oil makes up around 2/3 of Iranian exports. That was $66 billion in 2017. Iran, understandably, isn't happy about a ban on its oil sales. But it holds a trump card.
بداند اگر روزی بخواهد جلو نفت ایران را بگیرد نفتی از خلیج فارس صادر نخواهد شد.
They say they can block all oil leaving via Hormuz. But wait, can this strait actually be shut? Well, something similar happened here in the 80s, when Iran and Iraq tried to stop each other's oil exports. It was known as the Tanker War. Almost 240 oil tankers came under attack, and 55 of them sank. Iran's threat to stop oil leaving through the strait could basically mean making it unsafe. It could mean the deployment of sea mines, submarines, anti-ship missiles, or fast attack boats to close down the route. And there are a few reasons why this matters. Firstly, any instability in oil routes means higher oil prices across the world, having huge effects on any industry dependent on oil. One tangible example could be your car's petrol price, 70% of which is dependent on the price of crude oil. But more importantly, shutting the strait could be considered an act of war by the international community, something both the US and Iran say they want to avoid.
We do not seek escalation, but we have always defended ourselves.
Mr. President, are we going to war with Iran?
But a simple mistake or miscalculation could have major and unpredictable consequences, and many are raising the question, could these tensions escalate to a point of no return?